Morning, Sean. All right, so today what we're going to do is that we are going to work on creating R2D2's head. Okay, um, so what we need to do, sorry about that, is that we need to go into our pixeler if you have not done that yet. So remember, you're going to go to uh, pixlr.com. And when you pop it up, it should hopefully look something kind of like this. Obviously, I have a few more things than you do. So I'm going to go into here. And this is the file that we've been working on. Okay. So what we're going to do is that we're going to start by making these blue shapes on his head. Okay. So we're going to use our shape tool, which is right here. But before we do that, we actually need to make a new layer, right? Because if we put everything on the same layer, it's not going to work out very well. So we want to make sure that the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to lock our layer 3. So we're going to go lock, right? So if we did it right, there will be a little lock next to it. All right. The next thing we want to do is make a new layer. Every time we make a shape, we're going to end up making a new layer. So we're going to do this a bunch of times. So I'm going to go empty, right? Because I don't want anything in there. And now I'm going to go to my shape tool, right? Remember, if you hover over the top of it, it'll tell you what that tool is. So it's the square circle shape. Okay. And we have to look up top. We want to use squares. And I'm going to turn my stroke to 0. All right. And so what I have found is that whatever your bottom color is down, so you have your top color and your bottom color, whatever your bottom color is, for some reason, that is what your fill is going to be. So what we need to do is that we need to pick a blue color that's similar to the R2D2's blue. So that looks pretty close. So I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to start by making this line that goes all the way across. All right, so I'm going to go here, click on the very, very edge of his head, click, go all the way across the edge, and I'm going to try to stop right at the same spot. Let's see if I want to go up or down. Let's do it down here. All right, so now we have that line. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to make a new layer. I'm going to hit empty. And the reason why we're making a new layer every single time is that way all of our shapes are going to be on different layers. And so if we end up making them too big, too small, or put them in the wrong spot, then it's okay because we can move them around. But if they're all in the same layer, then we're not able to do that. Okay, and we'll kind of smush them together at the end. All right, so we made a new layer by hitting plus and then picking empty. And then our tools are already set up. So all I'm going to do is start making we're going to start on this lower section here of these rectangles. So I'm going to make a rectangle here. And that's the one on the edge. So now I'm going to make a new shape. Empty. All right, so I'm going to make another one. Click. Oh, and if you mess something up, it's okay. You just hit Command Z. Or you can go up here and hit, well, on mine it's Command. For you, it might be a little different. So you can go up to Edit, Undo. So here it says Control Z. So I'm on a Mac, not a Chromebook. So it might be a little different. All right, so I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to use my little plus to be my spacer. All right, so I'm going to bring my plus to the top of that same shape. Click, drag down. So this one's a little bit bigger. We're going to try to have them line up. And if it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world. All right, so there's number 2. New layer. Empty. Use that as a spacer again. Click, drag. And this one's the biggest of the 3. Okay. New layer. Click. Empty. So you notice here there's a big gap. So there's a kind of like a square gap. So we're going to go over here, make kind of a square gap. And then the next one's a little bit smaller. So we're going to go click, drag, or a little shorter, I guess. We're going to try to get it to be the same height as the other ones. Here, hit the plus in the layers, empty to make a new one. Use that spacer, click, drag, and this one's more of a rectangle shape. All right, click. All right, so what we need to do is if I actually look here, right, I want that to be about the same height. So right around there, and I'm going to use my little plus as a spacer-ish. So I need to make 3 rectangles in here. All right, so I'm going to go here, a little wider. All right, make a new layer. I might have to scroll up a little bit, or I move, go on this and move this up and down just a little bit so I can go up and down. So I'm going to hit plus, empty, make another one. This one's skinnier. I'm going to kind of make it, I'm actually going to make it kind of close to the same space because I got some size. I got some space in there. And then I'm going to do one more, plus, empty layer, and I'm going to make a last one. And I'm going to kind of do my best to kind of fill that space. So it might end up being a little big, and that's okay. Okay. So now we have that first row. So if we're happy with that, let's see. I might actually see if I can move this one down a little bit. So I'm going to move that down just a little bit. So the way I did that, I found my first layer. And I'm also, if I click on my arrange button, so my white arrow here, when I click on the different layers, it'll tell me which one I am clicked on by showing the little pluses or the little squares on the outside. So I can move stuff around, I can make some stuff bigger, smaller, that kind of stuff. So I think I'm pretty happy for the most part of where those things are at. I just think what we're going to do is we're actually going to take all of these layers that we just made, we're actually going to kind of smash them together so that way we don't have 5,000 layers going on in here, okay? The easiest way to do that is that we're actually going to hide these 2 layers. So we're going to click on the check next to layer 1, right? So you notice the background went away. We're going to click check. So now all we see are just the blue squares. So we're going to go up to the very top one. We're going to click on the 3 circles, and we're going to go to the middle one that says merge visible, right? Because the only thing we can see are the blues right now. So we're going to hit click, merge visible. Now we have 3 layers instead of tons of them. Okay, so we can bring those back. Okay, so now we have just 3 layers. Now we're going to work on the center shape, and then we'll do the last 2. And each one we're going to do a little bit different. So I'm going to hit a plus. Sorry, the recorder's being a little goofy today, so we're going to have to try that again. So we're going to have to click on plus, empty. You probably already did that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a shape just like we did before. So I'm going to go to my shape tool. And I'm going to make a shape to kind of fill the, to work as this. So we're going to go, let's see, kind of line it up with this a little bit. I'm going to go right around here, click, drag it. Oh, I'm going to hold it down, go up, and right around there, I think. Looks good. I'm going to let go. But you notice it's more of like a polygon shape. So the top actually kind of comes in a little bit. So what we need to do is that we need to go click on our shape. We got to click on our arrow. Okay, and I need to click on free. Here's the trick. You have to click off of it first. Now click back on it. Edit. I believe it's free distort. So now I can actually drag those in just a little bit. I kind of want to keep it the same height, just kind of bring them in just a little bit. So it's the right shape. That looks pretty good. Okay. And then I'm going to click on the arrow again, and it says, do you want to apply distort? I'm going to say yes. If we look at it, there's actually a little circle, right, for his eye, and we're going to do that in a second, but I want to make all the blue shapes first. Okay, so we're going to make a new layer, empty. And this time we're actually going to do something a little different again, just because this can make our life a little easier. And so we're going to go to our lasso select tool, the third tool down, and where it says type, I'm going to click on polygon. All right, because now this time we're going to make these shapes here. Okay, so I'm going to go right above here, kind of just off the center, just a little bit. I'm going to click. I'm not dragging, I'm just clicking. I'm going to kind of follow the shape of his head a little bit over. Click here, and then stop, and kind of go back to where I started. And it should, if you did it right, it should go kind of, what they call it, like the dancing ants. So it kind of just, the outline, the dash lines kind of move around in there. So now what we need to do is go to our fill. And so this is where it's kind of goofy. So I actually have to switch my colors. Now I want my blue on top. I'm going to go to my fill bucket. I'm going to click right in the center of that. So now you see it fills it in. Okay, this time, instead of making a new layer, I'm actually going to go to the last layer I made, the one with the shape in it. I'm going to click on the 3 circles next to it, and I'm going to click on duplicate layer, which is the little ball. So now there should be 2 that are exactly the same. If I click, let's see, I'm trying to remember. Select, deselect. Now that I've deselected it, if you look up here, there's a bunch of different shapes and stuff. So I'm going to go flip horizontal. I'm going to drag it over, right? So now I actually have 2 of them. So it looks the same on both sides. Okay. And then let's see. We're just going to not do that top one there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is that we are going to add the different circles and shapes and that kind of stuff that are in there. Now that we have our blue that we were trying to get, we got all those pieces done. So we'll work on the circle, the black circle, the red circle, and then the green. And then we'll work on this in the next video, okay? So let's do a new layer, empty. We gotta go to our shape tool. And remember, whatever is on the bottom is what color it's gonna be. So let's make a green. Hit OK. And this time we actually, since we're gonna do those green little rectangles there, we actually are gonna make a little bit of a stroke to it. So we're gonna make it let's say 5. All right, so I'm going to go to the 1, 2, 3 over. I'm going to make 2 rectangles. And I can do them on the same layer. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. So I've got 2 rectangles. Okay. Now I'm going to make a new layer. Plus, empty. This time let's pick red. Okay. We want to turn the stroke off to 0. Make our shape. Oh, remember, we want to turn it to a circle. And then now we're going to make our circle here. We'll make a new layer, empty. This time we're going to turn it to black. Okay, and make our circle here. All right, that's it for this video. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll also make sure that we have a write-up. Thanks, Sean.